the Cards have just made a huge statement in beating Kentucky tonight. And even though it wasn't quite an instant classic, it was great for college basketball to have the rivalry and have them both playing at such a high level at the same time. It's right up there with Duke, Carolina, Purdue, Indiana, Xavier, Cincinnati, and so forth. And now for the game, there's three main points we want to get into. One, Louisville's offense is a thing of beauty. It's not just set plays, it's five players on the court that have been drilled and taught habits within the read and react system that turns into such effective and efficient shots in transition, in the half court, at the end of the shot clock. And when you can throw the ball to a player like Mikel Brown, when you are in those tight situations, it makes a huge difference on what type of looks you're getting, not just for your best players, but for the entire team. And credit to Pat Kelsey for not only teaching these habits, but also recruiting in the portal and out of high school players that already have these foundations. You'd be surprised how many players, high level players in college and in high level high school that don't understand or read and react offense. And when you can put all that together, you know what you end up getting? 100 points a night, 3 games into a season against a really talented and tough physical Kentucky team because your guys know how to play basketball. And so when you know how to play basketball and you get five guys that all know how to do that well, you can tweak one or two things. You just find whose role is what, and you can do that within the preseason. You hit the ground running. And that's why the offense looks so good and it's so difficult to defend because there aren't a set action of say like, hey, they're calling pistol and we know exactly this play is for number 32. He's going to try to get a shot in the corner. Can we blow that up? When they're just running read and react and they all know how to play basketball and they're looking at the read line or they're backdoor cutting because the defender's head's turn or they're setting a down screen and the defender cheats it so they turn it into a flare, at that point you're just at liberty to the offense. And if they make shots like they're capable of doing, they're really, really difficult to guard. So that is on Kelsey, drilling those in practice, teaching those habits, but also being smart enough to recruit those types of players in the portal and bring them with him into Louisville. Another impressive point with offense is that they did it multiple times, right? So it wasn't like there was just this flurry at the last 5 minutes of the first half where Louisville went on a 13-0 run, which they did go on a 13-0 run in the first half, but it wasn't like that was it. And then they just maintained it throughout the whole game. They took punches back from Kentucky, and credit to the Wildcats for fighting back multiple times and making that game close. And then on the flip side of that, credit to Louisville for extending the lead again, doing that multiple times. So that just again kind of shows you how effective this group is and how scary the offense really could be. Within the offense, number two, the bigs in the system can make really good decisions. You saw so many short rolls with Frew, who was fantastic tonight. That last two-handed rebound at the end of the game, the second chance was huge for them and really just sealed it. But for Frew, they're telling him to cut the roll short. And a lot of bigs, we call it Bambi legs, right? They get a short roll, and if they're that far from the basket, their decision making isn't great. Frew is clearly capable of spraying to the corner and spraying 45s, or maybe stopping and popping, or getting it back to the guard and reading that stuff and not having a lot of turnovers from that situation. A lot of bigs can't do that. And then what happens, and you saw it towards the end of the game, they changed the short roll into a traditional roll, and now it's dunks at the basket because Kentucky's trying to cheat and take that away. So again, you're just reading what they're giving you, and you cannot, as a defense, when the shot making ability is what Louisville has, you cannot take everything away. You have to decide what you're going to live and die with, and if that's what kills you, that's what kills you, and you have to move on from that. But on the flip from Frew with the short roll, you also have Khalifa, who then can just set up at the top of the key and just dish all over the court. And if you're a defender and Khalifa's got the ball at the top of the key, as a defender, I'm 2 passes away, maybe in help. But within a split second, I can go from 2 passes away and help to my guy has a wide open 3-point shot. And it's just difficult because that at the top of the key can be going on both sides, right? So if you get a wing entry, the defense is able to shift more and cheat over that side and say, okay, the only pass you want to give up is a cross court pass. We're going to play these passing lanes, push you out further and further and make it difficult. But if Louisville's able to run these ball screens at the top of the key or get the ball to Khalifa at the top of the key, you're now defending the entire court with shot makers everywhere and players that are reading everything you do. It's tough. And again, props to Kentucky for coming back multiple times. I think they showed a ton of character and a ton of fight to be able to do those things. And then third, defensively, this Louisville group doesn't just play offense for each other, but they play defense for each other. They're rotating all the way through. They can go with lineups that can switch 1 through 5. They have their bodies in gaps, not just hands reaching and getting these ticky-tack fouls. And when their bodies are there, it leads to more turnovers. It leads to some of those jump balls. And they are not the biggest team in the country, but they felt so much bigger from this way they were playing defense as a unit and how hard they played on that end. And again, that Kentucky team, super physical, talented, and what they show tonight is something to be reckoned with, not just in the ACC, but the entire country. Last thing to note, which is praise for Pat Kelsey. He was fantastic on the ATOs, which are after timeouts, and the blobs, which is baseline out of bounds plays. And then just trying to steal those possessions. The time where they threw the press on and then they did the coach's challenge, got it back, that makes a huge difference in games like that. For over the course of a full 40 minutes, not just even those possessions, you're stealing possessions, you're stealing shots back. And that's a huge flip when a game might be 20 points, but then it gets cut down to 4. All those little detail matters, and that's just a huge praise, and that's solely preparation by the coaching staff. Too many coaches don't stress those details, but the best coaches in the business, they use these opportunities to steal plays, steal points, steal layups, or get a possession that might make the difference over the full 40 minutes. Last year with Louisville, and I know this is a whole Louisville thing, so hopefully you're a Cardinals fan. The team was the second best team in the ACC last year. Duke was just head and shoulders better than almost everybody else in the country. This Louisville team is better than last year, and that Duke team this Duke team is not the same as the Duke team from previous year. Louisville has a legit chance to win the ACC. They had a shot last year, and they gave Duke a really good run. This year, I almost feel like they need to be set by the time maybe we get to conference play. They will be. From what I've seen, and Duke has looked great and not taking anything away from them, that Louisville team looks like the best team in the ACC. And over the course of a regular season, I think in a tournament, maybe you might have a bad shooting night or things don't work out your way in a Duke or NC State or Carolina, whoever might get you guys. But as far as the whole regular season goes, to me right now, Louisville would be my pick to win the ACC regular season title. If you can win the regular season title, you can also win the tournament title. And could they potentially be a 1 seed come March? They play Arkansas in a couple weeks. If they're able to win that game, which I think they will, because I think their style of play will really trouble Arkansas, who might not be super disciplined, and you can kind of get at them quick. I think that bodes well for them. So now you put Kentucky as a win, you put Arkansas as a win, and if you could navigate ACC regular season conference play and come out number 1 on that, Duke would get the 1 seed if they did that. So I don't see why Louisville shouldn't be in that same conversation. Amazing showing tonight by the fans at the Yum Center. Louisville, welcome back to the national stage. It is so much better with you here consistently. You guys haven't been just MIA for the last 6 years. You've been here. It's been a bit spotty, but again, it's great for this. Cards are back, baby. This is great for college sports. Again, I said the next big game was December 3rd against Arkansas. Like, share, subscribe to enter your name in the portal. Stay with us all season. We'll be covering all the games. I think we're going back on Thursday for Purdue, Alabama. Should be another great one. College basketball is so much fun. I love the way it's set up. And we didn't even get into really how good Mikel Brown was. This freshman class just keeps getting better and better. The freshman class in the ACC is ridiculous. The Big 12 was the one getting all the love. But Mikel Brown at Vallis, I think, or DeValis, however you say it, at Virginia Tech, Wilson at Carolina, Boozer at Duke. I mean, the ACC is loaded with stars, and specifically freshman stars this year. And Mikel Brown might be the best out of all of them. He's right up there with that group. Special tonight, 20 points in the first half. Amazing ability to hit some tough shots and make those threes. And he's just a dog. This group of freshmen, they're dogs. Like, they're not just talented. They have that agenda to be the best player on the court offensively and defensively. We've seen it with Wilson. We've seen it now, in my opinion, with Brown. I love what I'm seeing out of the freshman group. Louisville has one that's just as talented as everybody else. Again, sorry I went back on that. Like, share, subscribe, enter your name in the portal, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.